For anyone that's new and doesn't know how to type, you just click the little open chat button next to the live, the free live voice channel that you clicked. Yeah, Amazon was wild today, man. I was very surprised, and well, not so much surprised. I knew this trade was there. It just kind of shook us out this morning. So for anyone that was in my live trading, we took this. It was a green for 10-15% up in here, but of course, I wanted to see more than a 16-cent break over 169 because I knew that this probably had a chance to get up to 170. For y'all that were there, you heard me talking about I kind of want to stretch this trade out. I kind of want to see if I can let this run a little bit. So I was in a little bit lighter size, and then we just kind of got hit out of nowhere. The market wasn't really selling off. Nothing bad was going on. And yeah, Amazon dropped from 169, kind of came down to 158. Once we got back under here, I just kind of cut it. Ended up making a little bit low of a day, and then it just went flat. I mean, a lot of things are running. You look at Tesla, you look at NVDA, Apple, Meta, a lot of things ran and held up. So this is one of the weakest links, and all of a sudden, kind of out of nowhere, late day, just kind of caught a bid. Got back above 169, and this was gone. Volume kind of came into it around 11:30 my time, so 12:30 Eastern, and it went from 169 to 171. So that was kind of the trade I was looking for. And again, like this is the price action I wanted this morning. That's why I said I want to try to stretch this out. I want to try to let this move a little bit and not just look for the scalp. So maybe that was the reason that I was red today on that specific trade. We ended up catching. So that was about a 20-ish% loss. And then Tesla was a 45% gain for me. So it was a great example today of risk to reward. But I really thought this Amazon trade would be a lot better. And you can now see what I was looking for. It just happened 3 hours later. So the thesis and the trade idea was there. It was more so the price action that kind of screwed us up. It was kind of random. Maybe some big bank or something wanted to dump some shares. What else went on today? Can we say that the recession is over? Yeah, I mean, one, I don't know that we were in a recession. Two, I think there may still be things in the horizon, but 2 years ago, I wanted to call recession every single day, and it never happened. And we kind of got a bear market, thinking there's going to be a real market crash. Never really was. So I'm done with that. I think about that stuff all the time. And then I go to the trading firm that I've interned at, and they're like, yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like this. Should the market be coming down? Yeah, I guess you could say that, but that's why we're short-term traders. It's like, our job isn't to try to predict massive macroeconomic events, because over time you trying to just predict things, always being the guy to call people out on their BS. A lot of the times it won't work. I mean, 2008 was an example with Michael Burry that worked out for him, but a lot of the times it doesn't. So I am now I'm just going to sit back. I don't really care. If the market crashes, the market crashes. I can trade that to the downside and buy up every single stock that I love for a massive discount, hold it for a couple of years, let another bull market come in and make some little bit longer term trades there. I've looked at SBUX. Yeah. So the news on that is, the Chipotle CEO left Chipotle and went to Starbucks. So pre-market today, this is why some people at the firm, which I was really surprised at, are like, yeah, I get up at 2:30 in the morning, so 3:30 Eastern for that 4 o'clock Eastern market open, because this went from 56 down to 50, so 10% move there in about 5 minutes. Those are times when people can make a ton of money, right? Guys would come in there, especially for news like this, it's pretty predictable, right? Starbucks up, Chipotle down. You put $100 million on this, you catch a 10% move, you make $10 million in 5 minutes. It's happened. People do it. It's a real thing. Sounds unbelievable. And yeah, maybe it is. But there are guys that I know there that simply will trade the pre-market open for stuff like this, for news, because they're the first guys to the ball. A lot of people don't want to get up that early in the morning and catch this stuff. And there's actually one guy in particular that makes a living doing this. I would love to reach out to the firm and see what they did there. So short Chipotle and long Starbucks was the move today. So, I mean, this one went from 77 to, even 87, to, almost a 10% move, 88, 10% move. insane, right? This hit a high of what, 95, 96, 97 today after hours. So S-Bucks happened overnight. Yeah, so Starbucks and Chipotle happened. It must have happened yesterday. Yesterday, well, I guess last night before pre-market, but after hours was open. Sorry, after hours closed. That is when that news must come out. So you can tell today that news came out, and people ended up trading that the first minute they could when pre-market opened up, right? Not the actual market, but pre-market. So insane. I wonder how many people got up early for that that I would know. But anyways, that's the interesting news for today. We have CPI tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern. So an hour before the open. That's going to be pretty crazy. Market was strong today. Does that mean it's going to go up tomorrow? No. I've seen this happen before. Market's strong, kind of fake people out. And the big guys can come in and short heavily. And CPI, even if CPI is, comes in as expected, the market can come down. So I have no plan whatsoever. Tesla could be at, 200 tomorrow morning. It could be at 195 tomorrow morning. It could be at 220, right? I don't know. Did you get lucky or did you base it off something? You're talking Chirodi bought $20, $80 call, sold for $12.80. That's insane. Imagine throwing $100 at that, dude. Total gamble. Yeah, did you get lucky or did you have some insider stuff you didn't tell me? I'm gonna probably bet luck here. True blue. Don't think that you're gonna. That's a once in a lifetime trade. Maybe once every 10, 15, 20 years. That's not realistic. I'm so happy for this guy here, but that's not necessarily trading. Did you have were you kind of predicting though that the CEO would leave Chipotle? What's up, DP? Or were you just kind of thinking the stock could go up over the next, week or two? Yeah, right. I mean, if you knew, you wouldn't have put $20 in. So I know you didn't know beforehand, but True Blue is just a free member here. Anyone on YouTube or Twitter, you guys can ask questions as well. I can see them. Oh, Ninja. See, sometimes people can kind of S-Bucks, Chag, Starbucks, SBUX, for anyone that doesn't know. Yeah. So that Starbucks up, and then if you look at CMG, which is Chipotle, that went down, right? So the Chipotle CEO left and went to Starbucks. So very interesting, but he must have gotten a big old fat check. So yeah, anyways, we can keep talking about this stuff, but yeah, so Amazon took a loss on that. You could tell that actually ended up working out beautifully. I wish I was around for that move. However, Tesla, let's see, that's not today because we traded the upside. Tesla was honestly such a beautiful trade that I was very happy with that. We bought, so I didn't really have any plans for Tesla coming off the open. Amazon was my top watch. Took that trade, stopped out, and then Tesla kind of started running out of nowhere. Market was really strong. I kind of knew downside was not going to be the move today, even though I was trying to trade Amazon that just didn't follow the entire market to the upside. So when I saw Tesla make this big run up here, I'm never going to chase something that's running. I'm going to be the guy to try to buy in on a pullback that makes sense, right? Am I going to buy the first red candle? No. The second red candle? No. But if it gives me something like this, right, from 204 to 202, that's something I'm going to be looking for. And VWAP is kind of here. So if I'd buy some at 202. If it came down to 201, I'd probably buy some more there too. Kind of chase it down a little bit, obviously with light size, right? I'm not going to be going in with a full position instantly. So for y'all that haven't watched my live trading video, I think it was posted in the free chat. Let me put a link to that. So it was my first day. I used to do this actually a lot. when I used to run my old chat and just kind of have it. So here's a link to that if you guys want to see it. My face cam is on, so don't. I hate that, but it is what it is. And so, anyways, I just kind of bought into that dip there, and you can see me adding contracts by one, by another, by two, and then right before it breaks, I buy three. I ended up having 8 contracts. And this went from, I started buying at 202, about a little more like 202.50, 203, 203.50, and then added the rest right around 204, and I got that dollar move through 205. And you can see me scaling out 2 contracts, 1 contract, 2 contracts, 1 contract, and then sold the rest. So that was a great trade. And that was a 45% winner. Amazon was a 20% loser, up 25% today on the same position size. Very happy with that. So you guys go watch that. How do you find the right point to sell? You never know the right point to sell. You never know where things are going to be hitting their peak, right? You're never going to buy the bottom, and you're never going to sell the top. If you go back and watch that video, 10 A's, that if you literally just click that link that says free member chat that I just put in there, you can see how I don't know where the top is, but I also want to try to sell around 205 on a break at 205. And you can see me just kind of selling into this, so scaling out into that, so I can try to capture as much of the move as I can, rather than just saying I'm going to sell everything right now, right? So I mean, sometimes does it work to just sell everything? Sure, but I try to scale out so I can kind of gauge, okay, maybe this can go another 25, 50, $1. Will I? You're never going to hold your entire position from bottom to top, right? Everyone wants to do that. That's where you actually end up losing money. Try to catch the middle part, the meat of that trade, and you're going to be a lot more successful. And you can't scale out with 1 contract. So if you can only afford 1 contract, don't think that you can do that and get all fancy with it. Just try to catch a nice little move. Just get some momentum in your account, some confidence behind you. It doesn't mean you go in after 3 green trades and you want to put in 5 contracts after just trading with 1. No, stick to your size. If it was basic. Then maybe you size it to 2 contracts, whatever it is. I did well off your Tesla prompts. I did buy that pullback. Thank you. Yes, great job. Yeah, that's awesome. I don't know if I'm live trading or not tomorrow, but this is the day, I think. Check the event channel. Yeah. Wait, what did he say? Sorry, I guess I missed it here. Is live trading free to join or with membership? So yeah, I do have some free. I do 2 free live tradings a week, but that is it. And then I have a free lesson, which is once a week, which is tonight, and a premium lesson on Thursdays. And I am looking to do more live tradings because I do a premium live trading on Monday as well, and sometimes I do Fridays. But I am looking to pick up Wednesday. However, guys, I may have some bad news with my class schedule. I'm trying to get that resolved, but I may have to. I may only have 20 to 25 minutes to trade in the mornings on Monday and Wednesdays, which could be a problem, and that's very expensive for me to do. For a freaking marketing class, you got to be kidding me. So I'm trying to work with the school, or maybe even just do it online through like a community college. So I'll know ideally by the end of the week, but that'll suck. But again, a lot of the times I end up taking my trades in the first 20, 30 minutes. And believe me, I love skipping class. So if I need to skip classes, I would be more than happy to make some money. So it may not even affect me. On days that are slow, I may just say, sorry, guys, I got to go, and I'll be back in like an hour. It's like a 50-minute class. Market opens at 8:30 my time. The class starts at 9:10. I show up a little late. I couldn't care less. And then it ends at, so it starts at 9:10, ends at 10 o'clock. So I can be back at 10:05, 10:10, maybe hop back on, see what's going on. But that just, I've always made my schedule around trading, and this is a class that is mandatory. And it's actually the latest class. The other one would be 8 o'clock, right before market open for me. So I missed the opening 20 minutes. So I either get the opening 20 minutes or miss the opening 20 minutes. What's up, Farouk? Well, sometimes they are, Farouk. Ethan, 9:15 to 9:45 Tesla chart, okay? Well, that's a 30-minute window there. Oh, I just high class line trash. I just drew those. I was talking about like we hit a high here, then we came in and tested it here, so I kind of have two bubbles. Okay, so 9. So I'm guessing that is. So are you Central Time group? You're not, right? So 9:15 your time would be 8:15 my time. Market's not open. You are Eastern Time, right? Aren't you in California? No, shoot, you're Pacific. So what? 9:15 would be 12:15 my time. So 12:15 my time. It's like over here when it's ripping. Oh, sorry. Okay, 9:15 here. Would I enter that? Yeah, I mean, I was talking about that. It's just I already caught this massive move. Like I literally caught the entire move. I kind of got lucky, right? I was buying right in here, and I literally sold my last contract at 205.50 break, and it broke by 3 cents. And I mean, so yeah, I talked about this. I was like, look, I would maybe buy into a pullback, kind of retesting this. This is why I have this bubble here. And you know, I would consider that. I wouldn't be buying up in here, you know. I'd want to be buying a dip down to like, you know, like this area, which is kind of why I have those bubbles here, right? So if I can get a buy here, my stop loss would literally be like right under it. Like I wouldn't give a stop loss down at VWAP. I'd try to buy 204 and give it like a 50-cent stop, and then look for 205.50 new highs, right? So it's like I got a 50-cent stop, and I'm looking for $1 to $1.50 move, right? It's like that's like a 1 to 2, 1 to 3 RR there. So yeah, I mean, and over here, like this is kind of impossible to catch. You just have to be sitting here like ready to buy, and then all of a sudden it starts ripping, and then it goes. Could you explain your stop loss on that time frame, please? Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like if buyers can hold this box here, I know that I'm okay. But if it breaks under the box, I don't really care for it. Like why would I give it more than that? Like, could it come down in here? Sure. Do I want to risk that much? No, not at all. You know what I mean? So it's like if I'm going to look for a dollar move, dollar and a half, well, I don't want to risk a dollar and a half, right? So kind of like buying around 204, and I never want to use like a perfect 204 stop, right? That's kind of why I said 50 cents. So you can get a little room to kind of bounce off of. And then, if it kind of breaks through that, just get out of it. But this isn't like an A+ setup. This is me just kind of like, I bought like 8 contracts on this. I would buy like 1 or 2 and just try to pick up like, a couple bucks. Let's see. What did I miss up in here? I think I missed some stuff. Well, the bubble saw that. What do you think about Coke? Cons are cheap, but if some big percent that moves. Yeah, I mean, Cocoa to me is just like a really slow mover. So it's not something that I like to trade. I've actually never traded Coca-Cola. Right, exactly. Kind of what happened to Amazon. Like I was really surprised at what it did. So that's kind of why I gave it a little bit more room, but I was in small size and I wanted to try to ride it out and not have to deal, like get anxious on pullbacks, right? So I was like, okay, I'm going to go in small and you get a little bit wider stop loss. But then when it did this, I was thinking, okay, so that's why I kind of gave it VWAP. Like, okay, if it hits VWAP, bounces, got under VWAP, I'm like, okay, 168 is the original high day that we broke through, right? It's like right in there. When it came down to that and kind of struggled for a second, sat there, and then just kind of had a green to red candle, that's kind of where I was like, all right, this is done. Like, why would I give it another, 50, 60 cent move here to low a day when I know the trade's wrong here and I can always re-enter up in here? You know what I mean? So I think it's something really important you guys should always kind of ask yourself. Do I know that I'm wrong here? Most of the time you do, even though you don't want to accept that, but you are wrong. And why give it another 50 cents or $1 or $2 when you could just get out here? If it goes down there, great, you don't lose much money. If it bounces back up and starts going in your favor again, and you kind of have another setup into that breakout or breakdown, then just get back in. And maybe you can put double the size on it. You know what I mean? I hate to say that, but that's kind of how I would trade it, right? I hit my right stop loss, maybe with smaller size. And if it starts kind of bouncing up, trying to go in my favor and moving the right way, Well, okay, maybe I just got faked out, but I could have lost another 10, 15, 20% holding for that low a day rather than just cutting it here. It makes us move back up, double my contract size, makes the move, make up for my loss, and make money. What's going on? Ethan, is chips running up this week because of NVIDIA earnings? I wouldn't put that out of the equation. No, not at all. I do think that that could be a big reason why chips are running. The market's also kind of rebounding, you know? What else you guys got? Only about halfway in. How did you pick the buy point? What if it goes lower? What if it goes lower lows? So I'm guessing you're talking about Tesla here. So, I mean, I don't know if it's going to go lower, right? But I think if something just made a move from 198 to 204, and especially with like no pullback, I know that I can even think about my psychology in this. Do I have FOMO that I missed this trade? Yeah, right. I do. I wish I was in that move. I don't know why it happened. So like I couldn't really predict it. But and like I said, am I going to buy the first red candle? No. The second red candle? No. The third? I don't know. Maybe. But if I can see like a whole round number level, from the guys in live trading, they know it. I said 202.50, 202 is kind of where I'd like to maybe buy some, just in like really small size. So like if I, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to be buying my entire position there, but if I can buy a little bit there, okay, great. Maybe it bounces and maybe I can then add into that. If I buy a little bit and it goes a little bit lower, maybe, and VWAP is here. So maybe it comes in like 201.50. I don't think it's going to go from 204 to 200. Could it? Of course. But I'd already stop out. So I'd start that position really small. So if I end up taking a loss on it, it's not big, right? Regardless. So I can start small. Okay, it's starting to work better. Okay, here we go. Add. We get that break through the high day. I'm then kind of in with the full size. I have a good position, average price wise, and then boom, we get the break. We got a beautiful move, and that was it. Does that make sense? I don't know, how to say your name, but I'm just gonna say 10 A's. Is your mental stop VWAP? Yeah, a lot of the time, and that's the only reason I use VWAP. Honestly, I hate all indicators. I don't want to say that, but like things like MACD, RSI, all that ridiculous stuff. I mean, believe me, I started with that stuff, and I stochastic, freaking everything. Like 10 moving average on my screen. For me, if it was that easy for a line to cross a line and you can make money, it's just really not. And again, I have a big reason why I just hate that stuff now is because I've been on trading floors that do this kind of stuff, and none of them use that. If you can't understand, and there's nothing wrong with it, right? But if you, where's it going with that? If you can't understand like the bare bones of charts and price action from like a buying and selling standpoint rather than a green or red candle, right? Like, oh, there's a doji candle here, like whatever. Like, don't talk to me about that stuff. I want to see, what does a wick mean to me? For you, it may look like a line on a screen, or you kind of like name the candle shooting star or a gravestone, like whatever. None of that stuff matters. No real traders talk like that. What that shows me is price came down to this level and buyers aggressively bought it up. That's why there's a wick there. Does that make sense? So that's kind of where you got to like kind of flip your thinking. Like it's not just a line on a screen. What are candlesticks? What are they made out of? Well, candlesticks are a visual representation of receipts of transactions, right? If I buy an apple at $1.50 and the guy next to me who bought it a millisecond later bought it at $1.51, well, my candlestick just went from $1.50 to $1.51. If the guy behind him buys it at $1.49, well, that candle went from a green candle to a red candle, right? $1.50 to $1.51, now down to $1.49. Make sense? So you try to think of it more as like a buying and selling standpoint, not so much, oh, like, this cool, cute, like little pattern, right? That's just not how it works. Of course, I know what doji candles are, like blah, 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 right? I mean, like, you should know that stuff. That's stuff that is basic and you should learn. And there's no problem with that, but never put money on the line simply because you see a certain type of 1 minute candle. You know what I mean? Think about it more from a buying and selling standpoint. What are some of your favorite for momentum trades? Yeah, so I do like 2 minute candles. I think VWAP is great. It's the only like line, that yellow line that you see on my screen. So I use that, and I'll never base trades off of it necessarily, but I have it there because over time, kind of just playing with it, you can see price actually respect it. You know what I mean? So it's like I have it there as just a confirmation if it comes into play and I need it, right? So that's the big reason I have it. For a lot of the times I'm going to be watching a 1 minute chart, but for trades that I know that I'm looking to hold for a little bit longer, typically I'll buy and sell under 10 minutes, right? But if I'm looking to hold something for maybe 20, 30 minutes, really trying to make a move on it, like Amazon today, that was something that I would have, that's when I switched to a 2 minute chart or a 5 minute chart. Because I don't want to be too engaged in these 1 minute candle movements. I want to try to look a little bit bigger picture, and I'll move to a 2 minute or a 5 minute chart, and go from there. So Estalido, I'm loving what you're saying, man. I hate that you're free, but it looks like you're new. So hop over here, either getting my coaching section or premium or something. But I like that you already know that stuff. Awesome. How long have you been trading? 6 months. Nice. So yeah, 2 minute candles, love that. A lot of people don't utilize 2 minute candles, right? It's like 1 minute to 5 minute. I like 2 minute candles. I don't trade on them most of the time, but a lot of times I will switch when something's moving a little bit slower. There's nothing wrong with that. Buying and holding ETFs. What are your thoughts on fib retracements? I've been using it. It's been working for me to find entry on dips, probably because so many other people are watching the same thing. And VWAP be used the same way. Yeah, 100%. I don't use fibs. Just for kind of my style, I like my chart to be pretty clean. I think that there is some sort of, I do know people that use them. So I don't want to throw them away or, talk bad on them. And everyone's different, right? I just think that for my style, I don't use them. I think that they could be good, but yeah, I mean, just like fib retracement, like you talked about, trying to find entries on dips, but like to me, it's like, I don't want you to just throw a Fibonacci retracement on a random chart, and if it's sitting at this line, you buy it. You know what I mean? I want you to like already kind of have like, I would like to dip by this here for maybe another reason or two. You throw that fib on there, it kind of confirms that, and then you can use it. But yeah, I mean, just like you said, you can use VWAP the same way. That's what I use VWAP for. So VWAP stands for volume weighted average price, right? So it ties volume in there, and then it uses average price for that. So I like that it uses the two things that I watch the most, right? I like to watch price and I like to watch volume. So then it weights those two together So it's like, to me, it just works perfectly with the way that I trade, and that's why I use it. What else you guys got? You trade options on TOS. That's on your screen. So I use TOS for charting. So this is I love their charting software. I think that to me it's the best. I know professionals that still use it. I've used it for 6 years. Um, I think there's to me there's nothing better, especially for something that's free. I know it really well, so if you ever need help with it, I'm there to help you. But so I used to trade options on here, and you still can, and I think that it's totally fine to do that. But I moved over to Interactive Brokers Trader Workstation two probably 3 years ago now. I think I pay like $115 a month. Thanks, Duco. I hate, but again, like I like the Interactive Brokers for buying and selling, but I hate it for charts. Their charts are terrible. So I'm like, oh, perfect. I have a great charting software, and I love buying and selling on this. So again, like that video, I hope a lot of you went and watched it. Who in here watched that live trading video? That was clipped up by them with me today. You can see I'm buying and selling Interactive Brokers, but watching Thinkorswim. But again, there's nothing wrong with options on Thinkorswim. I just think that the fills sometimes are a little bad, and I'd rather pay $100 a month for some extra tools that can then kind of pay for itself. It's very advanced, so I wouldn't like recommend it for anyone that's really new. But you get a couple years under your belt, I'd be more than happy to help you. Is there anything that can help know what will do good the next day? Like what stocks will go up? I'm new, so I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, no problem. So I mean, a lot of people can tell you, like, I know this is going to happen. I think this is going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen, right? So anyone that tells you they know what the stock market's going to do the next day or the next 5 minutes, they don't know. People can predict things. And sometimes be right, but no one knows, right? You can have a general idea of what you think the odds are that something will happen, and that's kind of where, like, that's why I can do this, is because I know where the odds are. I know what circumstances, that put odds in the favor for me the way that I trade, right? There could be people that trade completely opposite of me, and they know where their odds are. So, I think the best thing for you to do, Candy, is, for me, I only traded about 10 names, 10 different stocks. So the big tech names, right? Your Amazons, your Tesla, NVDA, Apple, Google, Microsoft, companies we all know. I've watched them for, 4 or 5 years now, every single day. So I kind of have a weird, like, relationship with them, because like I know, okay, like Tesla's moving really good today. Microsoft's moving terrible today. NVIDIA should do this. NVIDIA could move this many dollars, just because I know roughly what kind of moves these can make. So what I would do is like just try to watch a basket of stocks. It could be Nike stock, Academy Sports stock, Dick's Sporting Goods. If you if you're into fashion, right? Like Nike, you can do the new On Cloud shoes. They have a stock, ONON. You can watch Lululemon. You can watch Timberlands. There's, find a sector that you like. I like big tech because they have liquidity and they move pretty nicely. And then I would say another thing is just keep up with the news. I read the news every single morning before I get on here, trying to see some big articles, right? Obviously there's going to be like penny stocks, right? Like company XYZ just announced, that they had got FDA approval on some new drug, and their stock's up 200%. Like, do I care about that? No. Like, I want to look at these like macro names, these big names, what's going on in the economy, stuff like that, because that's what's going to move these big, massive names, which to me are a lot more predictable than a stock that was 1 cent that goes to $1, then back 25 cents, then up to 75 cents. Like those are massive moves, percentage wise. So I try to stay away from that. That makes sense. And how much did you make day trading so far? Your whole time trading? Well, I don't know that I'm going to share that, but um, enough to do it full time as a 21-year-old, for sure. What's that, Latvian? About 15 minutes left, guys. What else do you have? Yeah, I can I chart tomorrow, sure, but I I don't know where the market's going to be. Right, CPI is going to rip everything up or down. So I mean, kind of look at some names, sure, but to me, it's pointless because things are going to be either up or down. Could they be flat? Sure, but then that throws a whole different curveball into the mix. So we'll see what CPI does. Again, it's going to be an hour before the open, so stocks are going to be up or down. Probably nothing crazy, but maybe a percent or two. An hour before the open. So we'll see if they recover, do they sell off, do they totally reverse? Like I have no idea, right? Can I turn $1,000 into $100,000 in 1 year? Realistically, absolutely not. And anyone that tells you they can is lying to you. Could you go all in on 25 trades and win every single one and make 100% or 500% on them and end up doing it? Sure, but you can also win 21 hands of blackjack in a row and become a millionaire, right? I mean, math wise, it's possible. Are the odds in your favor that that's going to happen? Absolutely not. Did you held AMZ? So I'm guessing you're talking about Amazon AMZN. I did not hold it. No, I bought it and sold it in about, I don't know, 10 or 15 minutes. It says tech stocks. What are other stocks from a different sector you like or you like to invest? So I'm going to talk from more of a day trading scenario. I'm not much of a long-term investor. It's honestly something that I would like to learn a little more of. I'm good at one thing and I stick to it. And I also don't really want to invest when markets is doing this. I like to buy on some dips, but again, decently young, which is a good reason to get started. But anyways, so what sector do you like? So I like to look at oil. I look at a lot of the sectors just to see it. I like to watch oil, airlines. I'll keep up with banks. I'll keep up with. To me, that's about it. So like Boeing, like BA, I watch that. ExxonMobil, XOM, XOP is like the SPY of oil. What else? XLF is the financial SPY. So like JP Morgan, JPM, Goldman Sachs, GS, Citibank, C. Oxy is another good oil one. And then, of course, the airlines, AAL, American Airlines, DAL, Delta Airlines, LUV, Southwest Airlines. So, I'll watch those. Spirit Airlines had some news recently, when Carnival Cruise stock was moving, I made some money on that. COF, sometimes, yeah, credit cards, right? V for Visa, DFS, Discover. I think I'm thinking, I don't know, right? COF. Yeah, Capital One, yeah. So, I mean, do I trade them day to day? Absolutely not, but I do try to keep up with them. Like a trade that I'm looking to take closer to November, kind of trying to predict that Trump would win would be shorting oil and buying bonds because Trump will come in, he'll want to drill oil here, oil prices will come down. And interest rates, he wants interest rates to come down so that would make bonds go back up. Do you trade penny stocks? No, I do not. Yeah, I mean, Jack, I keep up with them. Am I staring at them all day? No, but I will. I'll just flip through. I mean, I can show you guys. I can flip through a lot of stocks pretty quickly here, and just I can go on a yearly chart and just kind of like see where they are, right? Like ExxonMobil, Chevron, Valera, and I'm like, okay, I want to do airlines, AAL, DAL, Love, JBLU, stuff like that. So I can just really flip through a lot of things quickly. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think I mentioned it in Florida, but Um, again, do I keep up with them heavily? No. A lot of trades that maybe I can make money on that go by me in those other sectors. Sure. Do you screen stocks at all, or just stick to the blue chips? I just stick to the blue chips. But again, like something like Boeing or Netflix, I may trade 2 or 3 times a year. Do I look at them every morning? Yes, because when there is a news catalyst, like a big news catalyst, right? Like when Netflix had a good earnings or they stopped the password sharing stuff, that's when I flip to it and I could catch that one trade every 6 months, make 200% on it, put some real size on it, make a bunch of money. Boeing, when the first door flew off, that was like the one time I traded it. Boom. I traded it one time last year after earnings, made 300%, about 20, no, not 20 minutes, like 7 minutes, cashed out. Right. And then the next couple of days, maybe I could have made a little bit, sure, whatever. But I come in for those big moves, try to like scoop up my money and run. Don't give it back. Yeah. And Chag, honestly, like, would I be looking at that stuff if I didn't intern for those 3 summers? No. That they opened me up to the world, like how the whole market moves as a whole. Like I look at his screen, Wags' screen, and he doesn't have a bunch of charts up. He has 2,000 tickers up on a screen, all kind of divided up into sectors. Okay, oil's doing this, right? Tech's doing this, semiconductors are doing this, home builders are doing this, stuff like that. Any particular tax strategy for capital gains? You could trade under an LLC, but I have a family secretary that handles all that for me. So I should know it, but it's just kind of handled. Unfortunately, I could get some notes for you guys though. Yeah, up and right, Latvian for sure. Did you trade during COVID? I did. I started right before COVID. And if I had any idea on what to do during that, year, I probably wouldn't be in school. So, hate to say it, give me another COVID because it would be life changing. How did you? So I didn't make any money on the downside. I wish I did. I just didn't know. I just didn't really know. I had almost no idea what I was doing. I started trading in my high school computer lab, scanning for penny stocks. Like I had no idea. I was 15, right? I was 16 when COVID happened. So I did I did the upside move, and obviously the whole market crashed, and then everything ripped. I did do good on that, but it's like anyone could have done good, right? That's what brought a lot of people to the markets, and that's why a lot of people aren't here anymore in the trading world in general, just because the market went, like I think Chag said, up and right for 8 out of 10 days. Everyone thought they were really good at this, and then we instantly went from like a straight up market to a bear market where it chopped around and went down, and a lot of people lost money and quit. So believe me, I had a tough time with that. What was it, 2 years ago, a year ago, something like that. Didn't make nearly as much as I did the year before. Do I like penny stocks? No, I hate penny stocks. Yeah, Duco, me too. Yeah, Latvian for sure. Thoughts on VIX? How do you use it? So I don't use VIX day to day, but it's like to me, I always have the VIX in the back of my mind because when you have a crazy move like we saw, like what last Monday or 2 weeks ago or whatever, and the whole market kind of crashed over the weekend, VIX will shoot up in the air, And that's going to bring contract prices up. It's going to inflate option contracts because there's a lot of volatility. VIX is the volatility kind of like indicator, right? So when VIX is up, contract prices are up. It doesn't change stock prices, but it changes options. So if you buy, let's say that I buy a SPY call whenever SPY opened way down there, thinking it's going to bounce back up, and SPY just goes flat and there's no movement, that means that there's low volatility, right? So what do you think VIX does? VIX comes down, option prices come down regardless of the move of the stock. So even if it goes up $1, but it needed to go up $3 for you to make money or whatever, you're still going to lose, even though it went in the direction you want it, right? So when there's big moves down, that's when I'm paying attention, trying to be a little bit more careful. But I like trading the downside more. I do love those nice slips because they're a little bit more aggressive than moves to the upside. You constantly have people trying to take profits on upside moves. And everyone in the world is, because buying something is greed and selling something is fear, right? And a lot of people are much more prone to feeling fear than to feel greed. Correct? Does that make sense from a psychological standpoint? Right? So when something's selling off, no one wants to be that first buyer. Everyone wants to get out. Sell, sell, sell. So yeah. But we got about 5 minutes left here, guys. Throw those last minute questions in. Does that make sense, Toledo? How do you know what to use on screeners to avoid? I don't know if you mean like screeners as in screening for like pre-market runners or volume or whatever. I had about 2 months of experience with that. Can you go over the volume question I put in? Yeah, what was it, Lavian? Sorry. For volume, do you have it set to bid and ask or just overall? I just have it overall. Like the volume sticks on the bottom. Yeah, that's just overall volume. The green and red that you see on mine is buying and selling volume. Does that make sense? Yeah, I mean, kind of. I mean, right? Like when I'm buying something, I'm buying it off the ask. I'm selling something, I'm selling it on the bid. So I mean, you can kind of look at it that way, but I wouldn't think bid and ask. If again, if you're looking at the volume sticks on the bottom, I don't ever really look at if it's red or green. I just kind of have it more so for the look. But I would focus on just the amount of volume more so than buyers or sellers, right? Because the candle will tell you the buyers or sellers. But the volume sticks at the bottom is what you want to pay attention to, because when there's a nice move happening, you'll see that volume is nice and high. And then when things are chopping around and you want to kind of predict that next move, you just wait for that volume to just pop up, and you know that there's a lot of transactions coming in. That move could be happening right like any second. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't use it necessarily because it's red and green. I kind of just have it because it matches my candles. But if anyone's on Thinkorswim, I can send you this. But yeah, guys, I'm about done. Anything else? Again, I usually I chart, but to me, it's I want to wait for the morning. You free guys, let me know if you want to get into premium. I think that you should join. If anything, join my coach's corner and test that out if you like it. And there's a lot of other things here. So if you need anything, just add me as a friend on Discord and DM me. And that's about it. Yeah, saw for sure. All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to be it from me. Thank you for coming. And I will see you on the next one. I'll be live trading for free on Thursday morning. Yeah, thank you guys. All right. Adios.